Hello, everyone. It's Thursday, and it is another chance for us to take a look at your divine masculine's shadow. Excuse me, I had a little tickle in my throat. Your numerology number for today is 4, 1, 3, 13, or 31. So if those numbers resonate with you, wonderful. It was meant for you. If not, that's okay too. Not everything always resonates with us or always has meaning, but it is always important to, of course, look for or pay attention, not look for, pay attention to when the universe is speaking to us through signs and synchronicities, because that is how the universe, God, source, spirit, the all, whoa, speaks to us. That was a weird shuffle, right? That's how it speaks to us, is through signs, symbols, synchronicity, okay? Doesn't use words, of course, unless it's speaking through one of its creations, which is why we are called the Conduits here at the Conduits, right? That's why we chose our name, is you are a conduit, I am a conduit. We are all conduits between heaven and earth, bringing the spiritual and the divine into the world of form. It's a beautiful thing to recognize your relationship as a soul to the world of material form and matter. And when you do, you recognize that faith is your fortune. All right, so we're going to start right now with, what does your divine masculine need to accept? What do they need to accept right now? And for this, we have Temperance. So right now, there are certain aspects of your divine masculine's life that they need to stop looking for fault in, okay? Balance, harmony, and patience, having some self-control are all achieved by kind of recognizing that a lot of the chaos that we experience is created by our own mental construction. 99.9% of what we suffer from are our own thoughts, our own perceived ideas, ideals, conditions and expectations or lack thereof. It's what we assign as important. It's patterns of belief, unmet needs, and unfulfilled expectations. You know, we can sometimes have the simplest and easiest life and be surrounded by so much abundance, yet we can be so incredibly miserable. Why is that? If we're surrounded by abundance, which we are, and we're surrounded by beauty, which we are, and we're surrounded by so much life, why is it that we can be in a state of misery? It's because the mind can make it so. The mind can make it seem as if it's not what it is. And so your divine masculine needs to let go of some of the things that they have held on to that are not really in tune with what's for their highest good. They need to accept that not everything that they believe to be true is actually true. They need to take some responsibility for creating the balance and harmony in their life, which might mean letting go of some of the control, which might be very, very difficult for them to do. So let's take a look at what this next card says. And this is more about what is it that they need to forgive. So what is it that your divine masculine needs to forgive? This again is, what do they need to accept? Which I think they need to accept that they need to let go of some things, okay? and not hold on so tightly. But what do they need to forgive? So this is kind of part of like what maybe they might need to let go of. And for this, we have Two of Swords in reverse. So with Two of Swords in reverse, there's some confusion. There's a feeling like they're not quite sure what decision to make. They may have overlooked certain things, not seen things from a clear or total perspective. There could be something that's kind of like the wool is being pulled over their eyes, and it might just very well be that they're pulling their own wool over their eyes. But they need to maybe compromise a little bit in certain areas of their life. So it may be that there are aspects of their past that need to be forgiven. I think that they need to forgive themselves in this scenario. I think they're holding on to perceptions and beliefs that make them feel like they're less than worthy of love and greater outcomes. And so they keep themselves in a place of like a self-perpetuated misery. It's like they're punishing themselves. And when we're stuck in a place like that, we have a really hard time letting love in because we don't feel worthy of love. And so we can push a lot of people, a lot of situations away. It's like this weird kind of in between place of desperately wanting love, yet at the same time not feeling worthy of it and then pushing it away when we have it. It's like just too scary. There's too much fear there. And so they need to forgive themselves so that they can kind of open up that more receptive aspect of themselves. Because remember, they are the divine masculine, right? And the divine feminine is the receptive energy. And we all have both energies. In the twin flame dynamic, each twin has masculine and feminine energy. We all do, every single one of us. But in your relationship with each other, you're kind of like the opposing energies to each other. There's like a polarization in those energies. You're the feminine and they're the masculine. And if you're in your masculine, fear-based push energy, you kind of push the divine masculine away, energetically speaking, not through action. So don't let your mind come in and make you think like, oh, I got to do this or I got to do that differently. No, it's not about that. It's about an internal energy and tuning in with that feminine aspect. But when you do, I think that what that does is it activates something within your divine masculine that causes them to open up to their receptive feminine nature and forgive themselves and be more open to the idea of a reciprocated and balanced love. And so they need to forgive themselves in order to get to that place so that they feel worthy of receiving the love that the universe is trying to offer and to send to them. They're not going to be in an energy of pushing away what they truly want and desire, which is bliss and happiness and harmony. That's what we all want and desire at the core, right? It's because that's what we really truly are. And really it's about coming to the understanding that we already are what we seek. But we have to let go of some things in order to get to that place. Okay, we kind of keep ourselves in separation from that when we don't feel worthy of the gift of love that God has created us to be. So what do they need to release? And this card just like flew out here. So this we have Five of Cups. What do they need to release here? The Five of Cups stands for loss, regret, grief, feeling abandoned or unloved. This just really confirms what these other two cards are pointing toward, is that your divine masculine needs to forgive themselves and come into a place of loving themselves first. Sometimes in our human condition, divine masculine is no different. We don't feel worthy of love. So we seek outside of ourselves. We stay in this like human loop of wanting someone to prove to us that we are worthy of love. Yet we are pushing them away because we don't feel worthy of love. So it's like this push pull, or this, cycle that we keep ourselves in. I'm not worthy of love, so I push everything away. Yet at the same time, desperately wanting someone to prove to us that we are worthy of love, which is, it's like we need someone to love us unconditionally. But we're looking to a finite world of form to give us something that is only available to us from the formless, which is self-love, self-acceptance, and recognizing that you are the love that you seek. That love is something that is first and only experienced within. And it's our own cup that overflows that gives us the ability to experience that love. Sometimes when somebody else loves us, and I say that with quotations, right? Because their love is their love and they feel their love. But when they love us and they say, I love you, we think, oh, we have permission to love ourselves, right? We don't realize that's what it is. It makes us feel all warm and fuzzy when someone says, I love you, that we love, right? But what it is it's opening up that receptive energy that's already contained within you for you to feel your own love. It's like they gave you permission, but you don't need the permission of anyone else to be in your love. To be in love is to be in love. It's in your own love. And yes, we can shower that out when our cup overflows, and we can shower that out onto others to help them tune into their own love and to be in their love, which is the same love. It's all the same source, right? The love that's within me is the same love that's within you. It's the same love that's in our divine masculines. And when we open ourselves up to that love within us, and we're no longer seeing ourselves as separate or unworthy of it, that's when we reach our like fullest potential. And so your divine masculine needs to get to that place. And I suspect if your divine masculine needs to get to that place, divine feminine, then so do you. Okay. And this is ultimately why the separation with the twin flames even happens in the first place, is to give us time to tap into our own resources of love and not and know that we don't need an other to be in it. I hope you guys can see the deep, profound message that I'm giving you there, because that's a key, right? Your heart is the key to the kingdom. Okay? It's a beautiful thing. And it's never cut off to you other than your belief that it is, which comes from the mind, which comes from fear-based opposing energy that you have to wake up from the illusion of. So they need to release the idea that they don't deserve or don't have or cannot possess that it's outside of themselves. They have to release the idea that it's outside of themselves and recognize that they already are that love. So this next card here is, what can divine masculine learn? Okay. And for this, we have Ace of Swords. So Ace of Swords is new ideas. It's new conflict. It's mental clarity. It could be surgery, right? Like, this, words they encompass a lot of different types of meaning depending on the context in which they're used, right? If I just say surgery, then we think of like something physical that needs to be done, to us physically. But sometimes it can be a surgery of the mind, right? Sometimes we need to go in and extract things out of our mind, our shadows, and heal them. And it's not like the way that a surgeon goes in and does it on a physical level. It's through inner alchemy. And so divine feminine, your divine masculine goes through an awakening. It just doesn't look like yours. It's in a way that is meant for them and their experience. And so it's not comparable to our own, even though We are connected at the level of the soul with our divine masculine. The external or exterior or exoteric experiences that we have are going to be different. It's the 3D world. It's the world of form. And so it's a different experience, right? So they need to learn from their experience. They need to look at it and see what it is meant to teach them. And no one can do that for them. Our journeys are our journeys alone. Even though we have the company and the companionship and the, loyalty of others, or sometimes even the lack thereof, right? But we have that along our path, which is wonderful, and it's a gift from source. However, the journey is ultimately still ours and ours alone. Yours is yours, and your divine masculines is your divine masculines. Now, yes, you are connected at the heart, okay? At the source, you are connected, but it's still two hands, one body, two paths, one destination, two hearts that beat as one, right? I just heard that in a song the other day, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I like that, right? I don't know if you guys remember that song or not, but I apologize. My lights are really bright, and I can't change that on this table, so that's really going to make that card a little difficult to see, but you guys know what it is. So they need to learn from looking at their past, looking at their present, and taking inspired action toward change. Okay, recognizing what they can do and recognizing what they need to let go of. It's an internal journey, okay? It's an internal journey. So this next card is, where can your divine masculine seek healing and recovery? And for this, we have death in reverse. Now, death in reverse is like feeling stuck. Hope is destroyed. It's like a feeling of, stagnation, right? Like I can't get out from underneath this rut. I can't seem to make progress forward, or it's a feeling of like moving through quicksand. Everything is just so slow, and it's just not happening at the rate and the speed that we want. So they can seek help in areas of acceptance, which has already come up. Letting, like, maybe giving it over and like letting it be God's will, right? Rather than their own. That's stepping into and reaching toward a higher self, reaching out to the unseen, connecting with the divine and into the spiritual, through prayer, through meditation. I think prayer and meditation would be extraordinarily helpful to your divine masculine. And divine feminine, I urge you to lead by example. Even if you are not speaking at all or in any kind of communication with your divine masculine, you both are connected at the level of the soul. So what you do for yourself, raising your own vibrational energy by default, will do the same for your divine masculine. Now, if you do that for your divine masculine, you're like, well, I'm going to do this for them. That's the wrong energy. Okay? Because then you're doing it, you're placing it for something outside of yourself. To get them to do what they need to do for themselves internally, it has to be the same for you. You have to be doing it for you. Okay? Not for them, for you. Not to get them back, not to save them or rescue them, but to place yourself in a position of unconditional love and self-care, and recognizing that you are the center of your own universe, and respecting and loving that relationship and accepting that divinity within you helps you to respect and love the divinity in all other things. And that can't be faked. The universe is urging us and nudging every single one of us to that place. Okay, every single one of us is being urged and nudged to that place of being completely in alignment with source. Because everything else outside of that is a distraction from the center. Okay, this is all play and fun and games, or the appearance of something else, right? Of pain and sorrow. But those are the outer rings of the bullseye, right? And so we have to focus on the bullseye, which is our heart center, which is our connection to source. And that's where that's our true north. That's where all things guide us properly. And then everything out here just takes care of itself. Okay? It starts to show up for us differently when we decide to show up for ourselves. And the universe shows up differently. And it's not a selfishness. It's understanding and respecting oneself. And when you understand and respect yourself, you understand and respect others. Okay? If you don't care and trust yourself, then how can you truly care for and trust others? It's really a reflection of what's happening. What's happening in our outer world is a reflection of our inner world, but sometimes it's really hard to make that connection or to tie that together. So your divine masculine is struggling with that. And most likely you are as well. Okay. So where can your divine masculine get this help, right? They need to seek recovery from within. They need to do some self-love and some self-assessment, right? Even maybe tough love is in that category, right? Being a little tough on ourselves sometimes is a loving act. Holding ourselves responsible and accountable is a loving act. Not punishing ourselves, but recognizing, where we can take inspired action to improve and care for ourselves. So where can they reach out for that help? For this, we have the Hermit in reverse. So the Hermit in reverse, I think they need to, interesting. I think they need to take some time for isolation, like really going within. Maybe, like, how when you went through the dark night of the soul, or if you're still in the dark night of the soul, and you just sometimes just want to cut yourself off from the world. This is kind of like the dark night of the soul card right here in reverse, like that, right? It's because the Hermit upright is going within for clarity, a quest for personal truth, spiritual illumination. This is kind of what takes place after the dark night of the soul, when it's in the upright, right? We have like this guiding inner light that we're following, and we're going through our ascension. But sometimes before that happens, we go through a very dark night, and we really hermit up and go within, right? And it's like the negative aspect. I remember in alchemy, the darkness serves the light. There's value in it. It's not valueless. It's not to be avoided. It's to be properly utilized. And the dark night of the soul propels us forward toward our greatness. Sometimes in order to know what we really want and who we really are, we have to know what we don't want and who we are not. And it's this card right here that kind of shows us that. And so I think your divine masculine needs that period of self-isolation. They need to just feel all of those feelings and allow themselves to look at repeated mistakes and patterns, which is what the dark night of the soul starts to show us, right? Look at the things that we view as mistakes, and feeling like those areas, like we need to really look at our shadows and explore what makes us feel stuck. Like, what are these negative aspects of the shadow of the self? And only when we decide to finally look at them can we integrate them, alchemize them, and transcend them, and then become stronger and greater as a result of them, seeing the power and the transformation that those negative aspects offered us as opportunity for growth. So that's what your divine masculine needs right now. So if you are in a period of separation from your divine masculine, recognize that there is value and worth in it. Okay. And that helps us deal with the emotional suffering of the illusion of separation. Okay. All right. I'm going to get you guys a oracle card. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. I so love doing them for you. I'm going to use my Urban Crow oracle today. You guys know how much I love ravens and crows. I kind of view them similarly, even though they are different. And the spiritual meaning behind crows and ravens is similar, but it's not exactly the same. But they have a very special meaning to me personally on my journey. And so I really like this deck a lot. And I thought it would be a good choice for the shadow reading today. All right. Commitment, you guys. This is the card. Commitment. Let's take a look and see what it says. Nature photographer June Hunter has documented the lives of a pair of crows she calls George and Mabel, and their commitment to one another. When George's beak broke due to an accident, this loving and faithful partner, Mabel, took over to ensure that George was fed and protected. When they coupled up, they agreed for better or worse, in sickness and in health. This loving pair remains committed. The commitment card asks that you examine areas where you have entered into an obligation. Are you ready to put in the work if needed? Are you willing to sacrifice something to ensure that you stay true to your word? If it is a goal you are committed to seeking through to completion, are you willing to offer your time and resources? Think about the commitments you have made. Do they raise your vibration just thinking about them? Or do you feel a heaviness associated with the situation? Of course, we all have our moments of feeling less than enthusiastic. The question you may need to consider is if those moments of angst and resentment outweigh the love and support your commitment brings to your situation. This is interesting because just like we said about the word surgery, it can have a lot of different meanings. Commitment is is no different. Expectations, beliefs, perspectives, internal representations, internal models, right, of what we think is the meaning behind something. There's sometimes unseen things, we spoke about that we're not looking at because we're not seeing the big picture. In my NLP course, there was this scene where they were trying to show us that sometimes we don't see things, even though we were looking directly at it. There's things that are outside of our awareness that our minds don't pick up on. And so we think we understand a situation completely, but there's a lot of information that maybe we've overlooked. And if we had that information, we might change our perspective on things. And so the way that they show us this in this class that I took, the way they demonstrate it is that they show two basketball teams playing. One has black shirts on and the other one has white shirts on. And they say, okay, I want you to watch the game, and I want you to tell me how many times the ball is passed between teammates in the white shirts. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm going to really pay attention. I'm going to count because I'm expecting it to be hard, right? And so I'm watching this ball go back and forth, and it's being passed very, very quickly. And I'm counting and I'm counting and I'm counting. And at the end, I'm like, sure, I got it right. I'm totally sure I got it right. I'm thinking, okay, it was 13 times. And so they get to the end and they say, okay, do you have your number in your head? And I'm thinking, I'm going to get this right. I'm feeling pretty good about myself, right? And they said they passed it 13 times. And I'm like, yes, I knew I was going to get it right. And then they said, but did you see the dancing bear go across the court? And I'm like, no way, there was no dancing bear that was going across the court. Like, I was staring directly at it, watching that whole entire game. There was no way a dancing bear danced across that court. And they said, here, let's rewind it. So they rewound it. And sure enough, there was a dancing bear going across the court that I hadn't even seen. And I thought, okay, maybe they're tricking me, right? So I rewound the video back to the original one. And sure enough, that dancing bear was there. There was no denying it. I just hadn't seen it. And it opened my mind up to realize that we could be looking at a situation and focusing on it intently, but still miss important information. And the reason why I'm using this example when I'm talking about commitment is you might have an idea of what you think it means to be committed, especially to your twin flame, or for them to be committed to you. But commitment can be so much more than a romantic relationship. Commitment can come in other areas of your life, or respecting the commitment and being committed can be respecting the commitments of others. Is your divine masculine in a relationship? Are they married? Do they have children that they have obligation toward? Are you married? Are you in a relationship? Do you have children? Commitment can mean so much more than a typical, stereotypical situation. It could mean being committed to, and this is what I think it is with you and your divine masculine and with all twin flames, it's being committed to the spiritual journey at the only place that you are truly connected with your divine masculine on an eternal level is the spiritual core. So your commitment to your divine masculine isn't worldly commitment, it's divine commitment, which means making your spiritual journey the goal, the commitment to that. Okay, and that means sometimes letting go of the worldly perceptions, which is difficult to do. But trust me, the universe is helping you with this. The universe is helping you with this because this is where, when we can do that, when we can let go and we can trust and let faith be our fortune, the entire universe opens up to us and we realize we don't need anything because we already have everything. Okay? You need nothing because you already are connected to all things. But in periods of lack, which is all perceptions of the mind, when we are in a lack mentality, we don't realize and we don't remember that we are connected to all things. And that's what this journey is waking you and your divine masculine up to. You can't make it about them. It has to be about you and your connection. Commit to that. You're going to see massive growth and change. I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading as much as I enjoyed giving it to you. I look forward to your comments below. I think we still have a couple more days of, actually, I think it's, today is our last day for 40% off of all tarot readings and 30% off of one-on-ones. So if you are interested in a one-on-one, right now is a good time to get it. It's our biggest discount so far of the year for those. And so, you know, today is the day. That information is in the description box below. Also, we have group calls. Okay, so if you're interested in, you know, something a little less expensive, but getting a lot of interaction and, you know, coaching throughout the month, and also being part of a network of amazing twin flames like yourself, the group calls are a wonderful option, and that information is also available in the description box below. Please like and subscribe. I love you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.